Hey, this is author S.C. Vincent, and I wanted to make a video today about something that's kind of near and dear to me about formatting, book formatting. I've noticed that um, a lot of people in the author space, one thing that they're missing out on is how to format your book properly. Now, there's a lot of in-depth kind of formatting things you can do, and then there's very obvious formatting corrections you can make that aren't too hard that anyone can do. So I'm just going to go over kind of the very shallow things that are very obvious and how to fix them and kind of just address them that I see in the market. And I think it's important that we point this out so that we can, you know, traditional publishing is kind of our competitor. And in a way, we're all each other's competitors. But if we can lift each other up by making equivalent quality product or art, I think it's helpful. It'll be helpful for you to make a better piece of work. Because although books are a narrative, a storytelling type of medium, there is a visual aspect to them. And you don't really know this until you start creating them and you start looking at and asking the questions, how do I do that? So first let me show you my book that I'll be kind of comparing some things to. The Sakura Elements. It's my latest book, came out this year. Little tagline: the when tradition means damnation and the future is the past. Aliyah Academia School for the Elite. Genetically modified Ocalatale faces discrimination, orchestrated by fellow student Alan Dubois. In a post-World War world where society functions on sleight of hand and discrimination, Oaken and Allen must find the one thing that will save them: love. So this is the book that I most recently came out with, science fiction, young adult, fairly priced. But one thing that we're going to look at today is how I formatted the book. Going to open it up. And we're going to look on the inside. But first, I want to show you one of the books I'm going to compare it to. Alright. This is a indie book of... I kind of picked one that was very easy because I didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings. So this is a book called Fantasies. It's an old book. This is something that's in public domain. This is just someone on Amazon who brought the book and self-published it just so they can make some money. Really nothing wrong with that. Got my coffee. Nothing wrong with getting public domain works and putting them in a physical format for everyone. Problem is, if you're going to do it, make sure you do a good job. So what do you notice when I just randomly open the page, randomly open the book here? If you notice that the indentions, the gutter, and by gutter I mean this area right here, there's absolutely no room. So when you open a book, you need room, and because the way I'm opening it, it's going to break the spine. So visually, when you look inside of a book, you need to have some space here, so you're not going cross-eyed when you're reading and not breaking the spine. So that's one key thing. So you need to have an even space of space on the outside and space on the inside. So really, what this person should have done is kind of made the width of the text a little smaller So there's enough space here on the outside for your thumbs when you're opening the book, and enough space here so your eyes don't go cross-eyed or too far in. That's one of the issues, and I see this a lot in some people's books. But that's not the biggest problem I see in people's books, but I'll show you an example of this and how in my books. So this is a hardcover copy of the Sakura Element. Notice the indentation here. There's a fair indentation where it's right there. So your eyes don't meet the other page when it reads the book, and I don't have to crack the spine. And there's plenty of space here with the outside gutter space. So that's something that people need to pay attention to. Even in the proof copy that I'm trying to give away, because I don't need it, same issue. I mean, same situation. You have to be aware of that when you create a book. Let's see if I can see that here. Oh, let's open that back up. Notice how on each side of the page, one side you'll notice is there's a little bit, it's pushing a little bit more to the right. That's because the book starts on the right page. All your books, almost every book, should start on the right page. The physical right page, not the correct right page. It's correct and it's right, but I'm just, whatever. So when it opens, you're going to have a little bit more space because the gutter is coming on that side. And notice how here the gutter is a little bit more on the left side because you're reading, and you're reading left to right. Left to right. So that way, that's the reason why there needs to be more space here, so your eyes finish on the correct area. If that makes any sense to you. So my next point is something that is I see in some of the most popular indie authors in my space, and it's something that I think needs to be addressed. Let me see here. It's actually something that's not done in this book, so we'll have to show you some pictures online of it being done. It's when your book, your paragraphs are not justified. So let's take a look at that. And I'm gonna try to just make a few points because I don't want this video to be 20 minutes like the last one. So here's a good example. So this one here is justified to the left. So as you can see here, if you follow my cursor, there's kind of like ups and downs, left and rights, all the way to there, all the way like that. Let's see here. Like you see the right side, how it's not a straight line. Now there's books that are like wavy, like this, on each side because they're not justified or centered. What I mean by that, so take an example. Just look at this side right here, and then we're going to look at my book, and you see how the right side of my book is completely flat on both sides. This is how traditional publishing and publishing in general has gone on, and it's kind of a rule of publishing to make sure your pages, your paragraphs look like buildings, like towers. I've seen this rule not being followed, and the reason why it's this way is because when you read this, if you're going to be reading something like this that's like this on each side, your eyes are going to go wavy and get dizzy and it's going to be hard to read. Because look, when you go from this line, your eye has to go all the way down to this line and then go all the way back up. So the idea is to have something flat. So for all these lines here, your eye just it ends and begins at the same place each time. So it's a perfect time for you to end and begin without your eyes getting tired or you getting dizzy, or it's not laborious in any way, if I said that word correctly. And I'm seeing this a lot in the space, and it's something that needs to be addressed, I think. And I'm not saying, in this video, I'm not saying that my books are, I'm not saying my books are perfect, but I've done a lot of research in trying to do something that looks professional. Because when you bring a book to somebody's face and it looks kind of like this, you notice how there's an uneven amount of space between the even up, the down area. Look at how big that space is. Up here, no space here. People see this, they're gonna think amateur. I don't want to spend $1 on a book. And we're in a space where we are fighting for $2 to get someone to buy our digital book. And people have a small attention spans. So I'm just about 12 minutes into this video, so I'm gonna quickly go through a few more. Also, what you don't want to do is have widows and orphans, if at all possible. Now, it's very difficult. Now, a widow is when you begin a paragraph on the bottom of a page, and it's just one sentence or one word or something, and it ends on the next one. And an orphan is when you end a paragraph on another page, and it's just like one word or one sentence or something on the next page. I believe that's correct, and that's something that you can have widows and orphans on paragraph. Like if you have just one word as a line on its own, ideally you don't want to do that. You want to have you want to have a lot of words to justify having a line for it, because each page kind of has imaginary space for lines, an allotment for lines, and it's kind of bad practice to have just a one word here. Now, I am guilty of this in my latest book. I'm pretty sure here I have a one word thing, but I did see right here, company. I myself have had a widow or so, orphan or something, but some of these things you really can't fight. It's impossible to get them 100%, but you want to be diligent and trying to be aware of them and trying to get them as little as possible. Let's see here. Any images? I think those are probably the three main issues that I'm seeing in the indie space. So, I'm not perfect either, but I'm definitely aware of some of these problems. And I would say if anybody is looking to publish a book, definitely look up some guides on how to publish, what proper formatting is. You're going to want, the correct way to place the pages, start the book, the correct way to, the correct font, the correct size it should be, all kinds of stuff. So I would encourage you to do some research before you publish a book. I read so much stuff when I started. So that's my advice to the indie publishing sector based off my lived experience. Not saying I'm perfect. I'm sure if you want, you can attack me for something. But, just wanted to remind you to, if you are going to attack me on anything about my books, go ahead and read them first. You can check out this for free on Kindle Unlimited or $2.99. So you can go ahead and, like I just showed you, you can read a full sample of the book just by pressing right here. I'll probably try to put a link in the book, in the description of this story, of this video. See, I'm messed up right now. There's a lot of stuff into publishing a book. Anything else? Was there anything else? We're at 16 minutes. So if you have any questions on formatting, you can ask me and I'll try to help you out. Like, subscribe, share, all that kind of good stuff. I think that's about it. Thanks for watching. Check out the Sakura Element and any of my other books if you like. See you next time.